Last time Meena ji said why our kids don't listen to us when we try to teach them some tradition. So that prompted a series of questions in me, like what we are doing wrong or how we should do things differently. Our kids are not running away from what we are teaching us. Anybody knows about the Shad Darshanam, like 6 philosophies? Anybody has any idea? Hands up, or no idea? No idea. Okay, I thought so. That's good. Your slate is clean. So I can write whatever I want. If you go study philosophy in any Indian university, Hindu philosophy, there's divided into, it's called Shad Darshanam, or 6 philosophies of Hindu Dharma, Shad Darshanam. But you have to understand one thing. This is the modern classification just to study in the university. It has nothing to do how kids studied in the Gurukul before, because all 6 were a part of a big study. There was no difference between the 6, and each one, and I'll give example also how this was not different, because in Bhagavad Gita you find all the 6, some portions of philosophies of other 5 also. Bhagavad Gita is mainly Vedant and Sankhya, but there are other philosophies also. What happened when rishis or munis were trying to get contemplative, or they sat in meditation? There are 3 basic things they always wanted to discover. First is, who am I? What is my relationship to this world? And then, who is the creator of the world? So basically, Jiva, Jagat, and Ishwar, or Jagannath. So J, Jeev, Jagat, and Jagannath. When you go to Mandir, you say, right, Darshan karne ja rahe hain. So these philosophies help you understand your own true nature, understand the world and your relationship with the world, and Bhagwan. Who is Bhagwan? What is Bhagwan? But ये सारे philosophies का ultimate goal for these philosophies, or the finding these things, like trying to make or figure out what this is, Jeev, Jagat, and Jagannath, the ultimate purpose is Dukh Nivritti. That's what it's called in Sanskrit. That means freedom from sorrow or suffering. Even if you lie in the bed, you take a turn in the bed because your back is hurting lying in the same position, isn't it? So all our actions are geared towards Dukh Nivritti. So this is the main uddeshya, or the lakshya, or goal of these darshans. Like even turning in bed, dukh se chutkara chahiye. Bhook lagi hai, bahut dukh ho raha hai, bhook lagi hai, then you have the food and then you get that dukh nivritti from your bhook. Sukh is nothing but freedom from suffering. That's simple definition of sukh. So there were 6 rishis or munis that over a period of time gave certain philosophies as they understood these 3 things, Jeev, Jagat, and Ishwar. Okay, the oldest one is called Sankhya philosophy. It was given in the BC era, and it's attributed to Kapil Muni. Now, Sankhya philosophy is, now second chapter of Bhagavad Gita is fully Sankhya philosophy. Sankhya means number. So it's dividing everything into numbers. Like, for example, the Panch Mahabhut. You know the Panch Mahabhut. What are the Panch Mahabhut? Anybody? Agni, Vayu, Akash, Dharti, and then Jal. Each finger represents a Panch Mahabhut. So Sankhya philosophy is all about giving numbers to and understanding the physical forces. In Sankhya, there's a Prakriti and a Purush. Purush is that underlying principle or the consciousness. And then Prakriti is what we can put numbers to. We can feel or we can touch, see, all those things is Prakriti. And then after that, we have Ashtang Yoga by Maharshi Patanjali. That's called Yoga Darshan. And all of you know there are like 8 steps of the Yoga Darshan. Ashtang Yoga is the most popular, and the entire Yogasan is based on that. Okay. And Patanjali wrote a book called Yoga Sutra. I think it has 199 sutras. Sutras means formulas he gave, understanding the world, self, and the Ishwar. And in Patanjali Yoga Sutra, he said, it's his statement that Om is the name of Bhagwan. If you chant Om, you're chanting Bhagwan's name. Okay. Then comes the Nyaya Darshan. Nyaya se matlab kya hota hai? Justice. But Nyaya ka, in the terms of darshan, Nyaya means logic. So it's all about logic. What I can see, I can prove. Nyaya is attributed to Gautam Muni. 4 types of praman he gave: logic or proof. So he wanted proof for everything. Okay, like how our kids ask these days, I want proof for this. So first one was Pratyaksh Praman. Pratyaksh Praman means what our senses can see, what I can see, hear, taste, touch. Okay, that if I can touch this, it's available. If I can hear this or see this, it's true. Second is Anuman Praman. Anuman means if there's a smoke, there must be a fire. Fire ke bina smoke nahi aa sakta. That is Anuman karna. Then third type of Praman Nyaya philosophy gave is Shabd Praman. That means I haven't seen or experienced, but I know somebody who has experienced. जैसे आप Canada आए, Niagara Falls देखने आए, then you go and tell your experience about Niagara Falls to somebody in India, and they believe you because you have come to Canada. ठीक है? उसको शब्द प्रमाण बोलते हैं. It depends on how your relationship with that person is, how much you have that faith and belief in that person. So शब्द प्रमाण वैसा होता है. So in this case, इट्स ऋषिज हु हैव सीन और अंडरस्टूड भगवान, उनके शब्द को मैं प्रमाण जैसा लेती हूँ। I have Shraddha. I understand that Rishi has known something which I don't know. So I will believe that Rishi or have faith in that Rishi or Muni. Okay, that's called Shabd Praman. एक और प्रमाण न्याय फिलोसफी ने दिया था, उपमान प्रमाण। उपमान प्रमाण का अर्थ है कंपैरिजन, तुलना करना। मतलब अच्छा, बुरा, भारी, हल्का। जैसे उपमा करके उनकी हम बता सकते हैं कि ये ऐसा है, जैसे अब हल्दी का कलर येलो होता है, बट ये हल्दी का कलर येलो नहीं लग रहा है, तो हो सकता है ये कोई और हर्ब हो। इसी तरह हम कंपैरिजन करके, तो ये सिर्फ न्याय तर्क पे बेस्ड था, फिर लॉजिक पे बेस्ड था। वैशेषिक आता है नेक्स्ट। वैशेषिक इज एट्रीब्यूटेड टू वैशेषिक दर्शन टू कनाड ऋषि। ओके, उन्होंने कनाड सूत्र करके एक लिखा था बुक। उसमें उन्होंने ऐसे फिजिकल, जैसे केमिकल हो गए, सब द्रव्य पदार्थ हो गए ना, लाइक सारे मटेरियल, ही ट्राइज टू अंडरस्टैंड दैट। ही वाज अ सॉर्ट ऑफ केमिस्ट्री प्रोफेसर, यू कैन से। इफ यू हैव इंटरेस्ट यू कैन रीड फर्दर डिटेल्स, बट मैं यहाँ बहुत ही एक जनरल ओवरव्यू दे रही हूँ। वैशेषिक में he also gave the, you can call it a theory, but it was not a theory, it was more like his understanding कि if you start dividing a thing, if you keep dividing, the ultimate which is left is called अणु, जिसको इंग्लिश में एटम भी बोलते हैं। तो ऐसा बोलते हैं कि इन्होंने एटॉमिक थ्योरी दी थी, बट इट वाज हिज अंडरस्टैंडिंग ऑफ व्हाट an indivisible particle could be. He gave it anu. He also believed in प्रत्यक्ष प्रमाण एंड अनुमान प्रमाण। ही डिड नॉट बिलीव इन शब्द प्रमाण। बोले कि शब्द पे हम किसी के भरोसा नहीं कर सकते, ये उनकी फिलॉसफी थी। क्या पता वो पर्सन सच नहीं बोल रहा हो, तो कैसे हम उनका शब्द ले लें जब तक कि खुद का एक्सपीरियंस नहीं होता है। सो दिस वाज वैशेषिक। तो न्याय और वैशेषिक ऑलमोस्ट सिमिलर है, दोनों तर्क पे जाता है, लॉजिक पे जाता है, एंड दे वांट प्रूफ। अभी नेक्स्ट आता है मीमांसा। मीमांसा दर्शन में, मीमांसा बेसिकली मीन्स रिफ्लेक्शन, थॉट प्रोसेस, क्रिटिकल इन्वेस्टिगेशन। ये बेस्ड है हमारे वेदों के कर्म कांड पे। मैंने पहले बताया था वेदों का दो पोर्शन है, हाई ओवरव्यू, वन इज द कर्म कांड, वन इज द ज्ञान कांड। तो ये जो मीमांसा है, इसको पूरा कर्म कांड पे बेस्ड है, मतलब रिचुअलिस्टिक है। तो जो सारे पंडित करते हैं ना मंदिरों में, या आप कोई पूजा कराते हैं, रिचुअल करते हैं, वो मीमांसा फिलॉसफी के अंदर आता है। मतलब आप ये यज्ञ करेंगे, आपको ये फल मिलेगा। जैसे आप पुत्र कामेष्टि यज्ञ किए तो आपको पुत्र की प्राप्ति होगा। और ये शायद उन्होंने ऐसा एक्सपीरियंस किया होगा कि 100 लोगों में से 90 लोग ने जिन्होंने ये यज्ञ किया, उनको लड़का जन्म हुआ, या जो भी हो, उनका अपना उस समय का फिलॉसफी था। तो ये पूरा का पूरा वेदों में कही गई बात, जैसे ये मंत्र जाप करेंगे तो ये होगा, इससे ये होगा, तो ये ऑलमोस्ट लाइक पुरोहित और जो पंडित कराते हैं ना, उनके दर्शन शास्त्र है कि उनका ही लाइफ इस पे थ्राइव करता है, जो बहुत ज्यादा रिचुअलिस्टिक है। इसको मीमांसा फिलॉसफी करते हैं या मीमांसा दर्शन कहते हैं। नेक्स्ट एंड द लास्ट, द सिक्स्थ वन इज कॉल्ड वेदांत। वेदांत is considered the most profound दर्शंस in all the six दर्शंस, and वेदांत ये सबको लेके चलता है साथ में, किसी को नेगेट नहीं करता है। सबसे ब्यूटी इसकी यही है। अभी जैसे मैं पढ़ा रही हूँ तत्वबोध, तो आपको इंटरेस्ट तो आ रहा होगा, क्योंकि उसमें पदार्थ लाइक जो पंच महाभूत है वो भी समझने का ट्राई करेंगे, सारे प्रमाण को भी समझने का ट्राई करेंगे। एंड देन वेदांत 3 शास्त्रों पे बेस्ड है, 108 उपनिषद्स। Now, what are Upanishads? Upanishads are the end portion of the Vedas. And Upanishads are usually dialogue between a student and a teacher. The Bhagavad Gita is also a dialogue between a student and a teacher, sort of, Arjuna and Krishna. And then there's another book attributed to Vedant Darshan is called Brahma Sutra. Brahma Sutra is attributed to ऋषि बादरायण। तो ये तीनों अगर आप पढ़ लेंगे, मतलब आपने पूरा वेदांत पढ़ लिया। और वेदांत is considered as, अब इसका वर्ड ही आप समझिए, वेदों के जो अंत में आता है, ये एक मीनिंग हो सकती है सिंपल, वेदांत का सिंपल, क्योंकि वेदों के अंत में ही उपनिषद आता है। और दिस इज अ डायरेक्ट मेथडोलॉजी। तो वेदांत को दर्शन तो बोलते ही हैं, बट इसको मेथडोलॉजी और प्रमाण भी बोलते हैं, कि अगर आप वेदांत की स्टडीज करेंगे और उसकी प्रैक्टिसेस करेंगे, तो आप जीव, जगत और जगन्नाथ तीनों को समझ जाएंगे। ठीक है, इतना पावरफुल है वेदांत का। मोस्टली बादरायण, ऋषि बादरायण और शंकराचार्य को एट्रीब्यूट किया जाता है, क्योंकि शंकराचार्य ने भी इसमें बहुत ऐड किया। इसमें शंकराचार्य ने जो जिस टाइप का वेदांत दिया, उसको अद्वैत वेदांत बोलते हैं, बिकॉज शंकराचार्य का हाईएस्ट फिलॉसफी समझा जाता है, जो जिसकी पढ़ाई मैंने की है। तो मैंने योग दर्शन और वेदांत दर्शन की पढ़ाई की है। योग में तो अपने सारे अपने यम नियम आसन प्राणायाम में सारे आगे, वेदांत में ये 3 मुख्य उपनिषद, ब्रह्म सूत्र और भगवत गीता आ गए। अब शंकराचार्य जी का क्या था, ही यूज्ड टू से जीव, जगत एंड ईश्वर, देर ऑल सेम, इट्स जस्ट डिफरेंट मैनिफेस्टेशन। उसको अद्वैत बोलते हैं, अद्वैत वेदांत, नॉन डुअल, मतलब देयर इज नो डुअलिटी। एग्जांपल लाइक आई गेव लास्ट टाइम, यू आर वेयरिंग गोल्ड नेकलेस, but the essence of it is a gold. That gold can be melted and made into a ring or a chain or anything. So, but the essence is gold. So that's what he said. Our essence is all same within every one of us. It's just naam and roop are different. उसका अद्वैतवाद था with शंकराचार्य जी का. And then दूसरा था द्वैतवाद, जो माधवाचार्य जिन्होंने प्रोपोगेट किया था. द्वैतवाद मतलब ईश्वर कोई और है. We are down than ईश्वर, but we are praying to that ईश्वर and that ईश्वर will grant us everything. Okay? तो द्वैतवाद में ईश्वर अलग है और मैं अलग हूँ. ओके ये द्वैतवाद है. ये कहाँ कहाँ देखा जाता है? वेयर डू आई सी दिस? इन इंडियन कॉन्टेक्स्ट जो वैष्णव संप्रदाय के होते हैं, इस्कॉन इज अ वेरी गुड एग्जांपल ऑफ द्वैतवाद. कृष्णा इज देयर एंड आई एम प्रेइंग टू कृष्णा, राइट? दे डोंट कंसिडर भगवान इन एनी अदर रूप. As far as I know, I have interacted with people. Christianity, Islam, वो भी द्वैतवाद है कि भगवान कुछ और है, मैं कुछ और हूँ. देन आता है रामानुजाचार्य थे, उनका था विशिष्ट अद्वैत. ओके ये दोनों के बीच में था, अद्वैत और द्वैत के बीच. तो जैसे सन है और सन की किरणें हैं. ओके द रेज ऑफ द सन. The rays of the sun are also sun, but it's different than the main sun. So this is विशिष्ट अद्वैत. मतलब भगवान is something superior to me, इसलिए परमात्मा है, मैं जीवात्मा हूँ. इन लोगों में बहुत शास्त्रार्थ होता था पहले, मतलब डिबेट्स होते थे, इंटेलेक्चुअल डिबेट्स होते थे. तो शंकराचार्य बोलते हैं कि उन्होंने सबको धीरे धीरे करके ये कर दिया था कि एवरीथिंग इज नॉन डुअल. अद्वैत ही सबसे सर्वोपरि है. बिकॉज इफ यू सी वेव्स एंड ओशन डिफरेंट, यू मे हैव दैट दृष्टि कि वेव्स अलग है, ओशन अलग है. But the content of the wave and the content of the ocean is exactly the same, H2O, isn't it? तो शंकराचार्य की वो दृष्टि थी. तो मैं क्यों ये सब बता रही हूँ आपको? आज मैंने क्यों डिसाइड किया सब बताने के लिए? क्योंकि हमारे ये सारे आपको अगर पढ़ेंगे या सुनेंगे तो इसमें आप देखेंगे कि कितना इंटेलेक्ट यूज हुआ है ये सारे दर्शनों में. क्वेश्चंस है, प्रमाण है. Like they've asked, they used to also negate their own belief, you know, अपने बात को ही negate करके फिर अपने बात को prove करते थे. ऐसा भी शास्त्रार्थ होता था. को I think पूर्व पक्ष बोलते हैं. And then they used to negate their own stuff and come out with a logic. तो हमारा जो पूरा system of education था ना पहले, it was not a shoulding culture. Just because I'm saying you should believe it. ऐसा कुछ नहीं था. They never said believe. मान्यताएं होती है ना, हम मानते हैं किसी चीज को. मान्यताओं पे बेस नहीं था. मान्यताओं पे सिर्फ क्या बेस था? शब्द प्रमाण पे. हाँ मेरे गुरु ने कहा है, मेरे ऋषि ने कहा है, तो I should believe it or have faith in it, but that's Shraddha, not a blind faith. And Shraddha का मैंने बहुत बड़ा क्लास लिया था last time. Shraddha is that I will also reach there one day. Oh, because our entire structure or the ecosystem was such that it was based on so many darshans and so many debates and discussions. Our kids and we are also like that. So you have to understand where and which culture are you coming from. यहाँ पे questions पूछना allowed था and then discussion and debates करना और भी allowed था. It was encouraged. Okay, and that was sort of जैसे आज हम weekend हो गया मूवी जाते हैं Netflix देखते हैं, वहाँ पे weekend पे ये सब होता था जब काम नहीं होता था बैठ के शास्त्रार्थ करते थे. ये normal part of discussion था सारे families में. This inquiry mind and understanding these three things based on inquiry and asking questions were very relevant. That's why that's ingrained in our genes. I have also questioned my mother, why this, why that. मेरा favorite question है क्यों, क्यों करना है, इससे क्या होता है, but never got any answer because क्वेश्चन पूछना लोग बंद कर दिए थे. तो इसीलिए दे became a gap in our educational system. तो how can we revive that? First, by understanding ourselves, getting that interest कि मुझे भी पढ़ना है, what is this? And then second, exposing your children or your grandchildren at an early age. You know what will help you? The stories of Puran. ऐसी धारणा है, like people think like that, Purans are just stories. It's not stories. These are all Vedantic teachings interwoven in Puranic stories. पुराण एकदम सुपर हिट मूवी जैसा है उसमें सब है, मसाला भी है, teaching भी है, message भी है, everything is like that. That's how I see Puran. But if you want to extract the Vedantic teachings from it, you can still do it. But for children, it's very easy to assimilate. है ना, उनको बड़ा मजा आता है बचपन से पढ़ने में ये सब. तो महाभारत, रामायण में भी वेदांतिक टीचिंग्स है, सारी ये फिलोसफी इनग्रेन्ड है. So you teach these colorful stories in the form of a comic book. अमर चित्रकथा की बहुत बुक्स आती है. अगर किसी बच्चे को अगर आपको गिफ्ट देना है तो आई वुड से अमर चित्रकथा, रामायण, महाभारत इन अ कॉमिक फॉर्म इज द बेस्ट थिंग यू कैन गिव टू देम. मेरे पास पूरी लाइब्रेरी है अमर चित्रकथा की. मेरे बच्चे उसी से पले बड़े हैं. रामायण महाभारत शायद उनको मेरे से बेटर पता होगा सारा इंसिडेंसेस. So what I'm trying to say is, as they grow, children in the teenage years, then you gradually introduce Vedant and the philosophy part of these colorful stories. क्योंकि उनको ऑलरेडी पता है, जैसे आप समुद्र मंथन की स्टोरी है, उसका वेदांतिक क्या है, अब मेरू पर्वत को बोलते हैं कि इट रिप्रेजेंट्स योर स्पाइन, सर्प दैट चर्न्स इट रिप्रेजेंट्स योर कुंडलिनी शक्ति एट द बेस ऑफ द मेरू पर्वत. So whenever you start meditating or start working on yourself, what comes out first? It's only problem comes out. You get aches and pains. Wish आता है ना पहले, हलाहल, and then amrit आता है. So everything, if you want to know the hidden meaning behind the Puranic stories, you first find it yourself and then gradually introduce these things to your children. Then they will understand, oh, मैंने बचपन में ये story पढ़ी थी, I read this, and oh, this actually means that. Don't take the stories literally. For Puranic stories, it's like fairy tale stories. You need your emotions and heart, you don't need your intellect. Where you need intellect? Into Vedantic interpretation of that. The stories are woven with those Vedantic intellect, you have to extract that from it. Upanishads are direct knowledge. उपनिषद भगवद गीता एकदम डायरेक्ट है, या ब्रह्म सूत्र और भी डायरेक्ट है. दो तुलसी रामायण है, रामचरितमानस, इट्स बेस्ड ऑन भक्ति, प्रेम, बट उसमें भी वेदांत है घुसा हुआ, अगर आप समझना चाहेंगे तो. सुंदरकांड के पहले ही श्लोक में राम का डेफिनेशन, हु इज राम, तो उसमें वेदांत विद्यम लिखा हुआ है, पर्सन हु कैन बी ओनली नोन थ्रू वेदांत. पढ़िएगा जाके अगर आप सुंदरकांड का पाठ करते हैं तो, वेदांत वेद्यम लिखा हुआ है एक वर्ड पहले श्लोक में सुंदरकांड के. तो मतलब तुलसीदास भी वेदांत पढ़े थे, उनको पता था वेदांत के बिना राम को नहीं जान सकते. सो वेदांत इज द अल्टीमेट दर्शन वी कैन चूज टू स्टडी बिकॉज इट असिमुलेट्स एवरीथिंग टुगेदर. सांख्य, योगा, विद भगवद गीता के 6th चैप्टर में इट्स ऑल फुल ऑफ मेथड्स ऑफ मेडिटेशन. बोलते हैं अगर आपने भगवद गीता को समझ लिया तो आपने सारे वेदस को समझ लिया, क्योंकि भगवद गीता को उपनिषद भी बोलते हैं, 5th वेदा भी बोलते हैं, बिकॉज है तो वही, but it's very practical. Bhagavad Gita is very close to my heart because it's very practical application of the Vedantic teachings. Upanishad is just direct. Upanishad has statements like aham brahmasmi, like I am Brahma, या फिर तत्वम asi. वेदांत 5 methodology follow करता है. पहला तो बोलेगा सबसे grossest क्या है? It introduces you to the concept of karma yoga. What is karma yoga? Anybody? One sentence answer?
Pass what we did bad.
No.
Fulfill your responsibilities.
No. Anybody else?
Understanding anything by actions.
No. Karma yoga is not action. It's an attitude behind your action. Daily action every day, and how you're using your daily activities, daily chores in your spiritual growth. For example, brushing your teeth every morning is a mundane task, everyday chore. कर्म योगा में प्रसाद भाव बहुत important है. समर्पण and प्रसाद भाव, they're two things. Thank God I have the teeth that I can still brush, and then if my teeth gets a problem, take it as a prasad. भगवान जी आपने ये problem भी दे दिया, चलो जाते हैं dentist के पास. Whatever comes to you while doing your duties, suppose you have to take care of your kids, but your kid is really upset at you and fights with you, but still you have to do your duty. How shant you are, how calm and composed you are, still doing your duty is karma yoga. Your attitude behind your action is karma yoga. Prasad bhav is very important in karma yoga. Even driving on a highway, driving a car, cleaning your room, jhadu lagana, pocha lagana, everything. How connected you are. What is your attitude? Are you having problem? Oh my God, I have to do this every day. Are you agitated in doing that work? Or you have a mind that is feeling the blessing. Thank God I'm alive to do this work. Your attitude in action is karma yoga.
Archana ji, then we can say doing our action with the connect.
Yes.
Connect with God.
Yes. That's karma yoga. That is why yoga is the word. Yoga is the union or the connection with the divine. And then while having that connection, then you do every karma. आजकल problem क्या होती है? Everybody is thinking, oh my God, I have to do so much. I have to go from here to there and then back to back appointments. Do this, do that, do that. Life never ends. You never feel like that. It stops, isn't it? I've seen so many people like that. जैसे they never get a break. कर्म योगा में आपको वो feeling ही नहीं आती है. You don't even feel that way in कर्म योगा. You enjoy each and every thing that is thrown on you by the life. ठीक है, आज कार खराब हुई, गाड़ी खराब हुई, let's go to mechanic. So what? Okay, I'm sick, I got fever. Okay. So you're fine with everything, but that doesn't mean you're nishkriya, you're actionless. You still take action to get rid of that fever or repair that car, but having that calm mind and the attitude of gratitude. सुख भी तुम्हारे, दुख भी तुम्हारे. Everything is okay. सुख दुखे समय कृत्वा लाभो अलाभो जया जयो. सुख में भी सेम, दुख में भी सेम, लाभ में भी, हानि में भी. मान में भी सेम, अपमान में भी सेम. So you're not getting affected by the dualities of life. That is कर्म योगा. जो करना है तो करना ही है. If I have to do, I must do, no matter how the environment is not conducive to me doing it. Any more questions in Karma Yoga? So the first step is the grossest one. Use your physical body and your mind together to perform your action. This is the grossest form of Vedantic teachings. The next form comes is Upasana, which is in the Karma Kand, like daily practices and dedicated time for your meditation, yoga, puja, mantra jap. That's called Upasana. that must be done. Upasana is the second step. You have purified your mind by doing karma yoga. Karma yoga is a process. Sometimes we do get irritated. It's natural. It's okay. Remind yourself, I should not be getting irritated with what I have to do. It's a journey. Then upasana comes. Upasana may start with 2 minutes, go to 20 minutes, and then you can go up to 48 minutes. That's one mandala, they say in meditation, that 48 minutes, if you can sit in one asana, you have mastered your body without any aches and pains. So 48 minutes ka ek mandala bolte hain. And then after upasana comes Shravan, and then Manan, and then Nididhyasan. Shravan means listening to all these teachings, not only simple listening, but listening with an open mind, inquiry mind, so that doubts get created in your mind. Listening with that open mind to challenge or ask questions. And then Mananam is analyzing whatever you have listened. Clear the doubts, deep thinking about whatever you've heard. पहले तो श्रुति होते थे ना, मतलब it was an oral tradition. Teacher used to say and the student used to listen. Means Shravanam, something that you listen. But reflective listening. बस क्लास के समय नहीं, बाद में भी भूल नहीं जाना. भूलना नहीं, नोट्स बनाना, सोने के समय सोचना, नेक्स्ट मॉर्निंग भी सोचना. अच्छा, then you think about these things deeper and then use that in your practical life. That's Mananam. Thinking, critical thinking, deep thinking, and then clearing doubts with your teacher is called Mananam. मतलब उसको पूरी तरह से, कोई आपने फिजिक्स में नया पढ़ा कुछ प्रिंसिपल ऑफ लाइट या वेव्स, उसी बारे में सोचना, अच्छा ऐसा होता है, ऐसा होता है, ऐसा होता है, फिर उसके क्वेश्चंस आना उसके. उसी तरह वेदांत की पढ़ाई में मननम इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. मन का मंथन करना, कॉन्स्टेंटली थिंकिंग अबाउट दैट थिंग एंड अंडरस्टैंडिंग, एनालाइजिंग, क्रिटिकल एनालिसिस ऑफ दैट थिंग इज मननम. देन कम्स द लास्ट स्टेज, निधिध्यासन. निधिध्यासन मतलब होता है वेदांतिक मेडिटेशन. वो मैंने अभी तक सिखाया नहीं किसी को. इट्स अ वेरी डीप मेडिटेशन. And normally there's no course for it also. It's about taking a Vedantic sentence, especially that sentence that connect you with the Ishwar, like Tattvam Asi. You are that. उस पे ही meditate करना बैठ के. 15 minutes dedicated time. Just thinking about that. And then throughout your life, Tattvam Asi, Aham Brahmasmi, or something like that. या फिर भगवत गीता के एक श्लोक पे बहुत डीपली सोचना, उस पे मेडिटेट करना बैठ के, आंख बंद करके. जैसे मैं बताती हूँ, ये कप है, कप के अंदर स्पेस है खाली, ठीक है. अगर मेरा पानी अभी खत्म हो गया, स्पेस है खाली, स्पेस यहाँ भी है, स्पेस यहाँ भी है. डू यू एग्री टू दैट? थम्स अप. स्पेस इज हियर, स्पेस इज हियर. व्हेन आई मूव दिस कप, इज द स्पेस मूविंग और माय कप इज मूविंग थ्रू द स्पेस? व्हाट इज द आंसर?
Cup is moving through space.
Like God is everywhere, we are within that. Is it like that? Anything?
हाँ, गॉड वर्ड नहीं यूज करना है, ईश्वर बोलना
yes.
है या ब्रह्म बोलना है. ब्रह्म बोलते हैं यूजुअली या आत्मा बोलते हैं. सो आत्मा इज सटलर देन स्पेस. इट्स ऑल परवेडिंग, सटलर. द स्पेस भी उसके अंदर है, इतना सटल है. अब इतना सटल, इतना सूक्ष्म है कि उसको समझने के लिए कितनी सूक्ष्म बुद्धि चाहिए. बुद्धि से समझ नहीं सकते. बट इफ यू कीप कॉन्टेम्पलेटिंग द कॉन्शियसनेस, द आत्मा इज इनसाइड मी, आउटसाइड मी, लाइक एवरीथिंग इज ऑल परवेडिंग. बोलते हैं ना भगवान सर्वव्यापक है, everywhere. So that's the Vedantic concept. My body is moving through the Atma, like, it's just occupied a little portion of it. Just because it's confined, it feels that it is Jivatma. Ignorant Paramatma is Jivatma. That I don't know my true nature. I repeat again. Ignorant Paramatma is Jivatma. And realized Jivatma is Paramatma. Opposite भी true है. तो ये सब वेदांतिक contemplation है. ये बहुत deep subject है. बट आपको शुरू करना है कर्म योगा से, जिसका डेफिनेशन भी नहीं पता है. सो यू हैव टू स्टार्ट इफ यू आर रियली सीरियस अबाउट स्टडीज एंड गेटिंग व्हाट इज द अल्टीमेट पर्पस? एनीबॉडी? व्हाट इज द अल्टीमेट पर्पस ऑफ दिस स्टडीज, दिस दर्शन्स?
Free from all
yes
suffering.
dukh nivritti.
Dukh nivritti.
Free from all sufferings. That's the ultimate goal, because that's everybody is looking for that happiness, sukh, right? That is the survival we are here for. अगर हम दुख में ही नहीं रह सकते. We always want to reset everything. Whatever is wrong, we want to reset, isn't it? घर में कुछ उल्टा पुल्टा रखा रहता है, we want to reset our house. We lying flat, we get pain, we turn because we want to reset that pain. So ultimate purpose of this body is dukh nivritti. उसी को मोक्ष बोलते हैं. जैसे आपको भूख लगी है, तो भूख से मोक्ष कैसे मिलेगा? खाना खा के. So we are looking for moksha only every time. So this is again very deep teaching कि आप मोक्ष ढूंढ रहे हैं हर जगह. This can be a contemplative meditation. Whatever you're seeking is for your happiness. You're not happy, and that's why you're seeking that. So when you seek that true self, you don't seek anymore.
So dumb students.
यही आपको सूझा? नहीं, पोटेंशियल ज्यादा है. फिर मतलब मुझे अपना स्किल्स इंप्रूव करना पड़ेगा पढ़ाने में. मतलब मेरा ग्रोथ हो रहा है ना, that's karma yoga. I am trying to connect with Bhagwan through you. I'm trying to channelize that energy and giving out. Nothing bothers me, even you answer or don't answer. I take everything as it's a process. You have come in my life, it's a blessing for me. That's how I take it. That's a portion of karma yoga, a feeling of gratitude. No matter who comes in my life, a person, a colleague who's troubling me has also come for my growth. That's how I see it. So it's my responsibility how I respond to that colleague who's nasty to me. That should be the attitude.
When we think like that, then we don't have any stress, others anxiety and so many issues.
I only think one thing. We have survived till this age, whatever your age is 40, 50, 60, 70. We'll survive more. Doesn't matter. Whatever has come in my life, we are still surviving. So why take stress? The day you're thinking like that, and then even death won't bother you. All this Mimamsa Darshan, the Karma Kand of the Vedas, is for what? For achieving physical benefits, right? For wealth, for child. And that's what these days is turned into when people go to Mandir, Puja Sthal. That's what they're asking. They're doing the Mimamsa philosophy. They're using God for their materialistic pleasures. It's 90% like that, isn't it? Whereas Vedant, teaching of Vedant is totally opposite. No matter if you have a child or not child, Sukh Dukh Samay Kritva. So it's a direct, and Vedant teaching comes to those who can take the teaching. It's like a hammer. The teaching is like hammer. It's not easy. So not many people are ready for it. They get bored. They say, why do I have to learn all this? I'm enjoying my life, right? So those people are still on the merry-go-round. They like celebrating birthday every year. They like Diwali or whatever the festivals are coming every year. They're still enjoying that, which is okay for them. Every path is okay, whatever stage they are in. Now, for one person who has got bored of all these things, then you study Vedant. When you study Vedant, it's not that you're going against rituals. You start enjoying rituals in a different way. And you may be supporting people who are doing rituals because you see a different meaning to the rituals. You see everything as an upasana rather than just ritual or puja, just mechanical puja. But 90% of people are just doing mechanical puja, isn't it? But if it works for them, it works for them. Who are we to decide what to do? A person who studies Vedanta should not have problem with anybody. Those who study, don't study. Those who do yoga, they don't do yoga. They do rituals, lot of rituals, no problem. Right, Divya? No problem. It's okay. Let them do whatever works for them. But I think differently. Keep it to yourself and then grow. Rather than spending energy outside, start reading all these things and understanding these things. So I have produced I think 29 videos of Bhagavad Gita till chapter 3. Okay. After completing chapter 3, I realized the students that I'm teaching, they don't have basic understanding. So then I started teaching Tattva Bodh now so that the basic concept get clear. Tattva Bodh is a basic book of Vedantic terminologies. So that's why I have, how many videos I have for Tattva Bodh? 7, I think. We've done 7 classes. After we finish Tattva Bodh, we'll resume Bhagavad Gita. But then you should also watch those 29 videos of Bhagavad Gita as and when you get time. A lot of concepts are also overlapping with Tattva Bodh there. So my duty, responsibility is to educate you if you are ready for it. So if you're ready for it, you'll stick with me because yoga is just a means. As I told you, it's not different than Vedant. I don't see it differently. All the rishis, they didn't see it differently. Everything helps. Yoga, path of yoga is also upasana. You're taking care of your body and mind because a healthy mind and a healthy body can only do these studies. Hanuman Chalisa में वो क्या है एक लाइन, बल बुद्धि विद्या, बल बुद्धि विद्या, देहु मोहे हरहु कलेश विकार. Bal is very important. Bal should come first. That's why I'm starting the strength training class. Majority of people are balheen. Why I'm starting strength training classes? Because if we started doing yoga when we were like 10 years old, we would not need strength training. But because we started doing yoga later in life and we don't do so much of heavy asanas now because we cannot do it, that strength training with help with a bal and muscle strengthening, very, very important. And no matter what age you are, you can start doing strength training. Then after strength is the buddhi. When your body is strong, that helps sustain the sharp intellect. Only when your body is strong. When your body is weak, your intellect cannot also function. When you're sick, do you feel like doing intellectual talks? No. Bal, buddhi, vidya. Then only the vidya arambh happens. It comes to you. So strong body is very, very important because we are not born saints. इसीलिए बहुत हो गया आज है ना.
Thank you very much, so much.
नोट्स बनाइए थोड़ा, सिर्फ थैंक यू से नहीं होगा.
नोट्स बनाने पड़ेंगे.
Yeah, that's what I
ये
said.
वीडियो देख के वापस इसको रिव्यू करिए, एक बार और रिवाइज करिए हफ्ते में. मैं ये बोलूंगी क्योंकि एक बार में समझ नहीं आता ये सब चीज. You have a notebook for Tattva Bodh. You can start writing in it also simultaneously.
Lot of information to think about, right?
This is information for you right now. You're very right. This has to become your knowledge. Right now it's information. You're absolutely right. It's just a सूचना. I'm giving information. ज्ञान नहीं बना है अभी वो.
Yeah.
सूचना से ज्ञान का रास्ता है ये वेदांत. So first you understand it cognitively, intellectually, and then after all those 5 practices, कर्म योग, upasana, shravan, manan, nididhyasana, you come to a stage where you start assimilating this knowledge. Right?
Yeah, so a lot of things not exactly remembering, but definitely will follow and see the video through again and try to at least Karma Yoga will try to start.
I've already started reading the Holy Gita book. I find it a bit interesting. Yeah, I've learned what is dharma, small terms. So yeah.
You will find it very interesting. And Vedant, the whole methodology is very scientific, the way it's outlined. So it's all about knowing yourself, and it has laid down methodologies and the terminologies which actually make sense to you. It starts with what you know first. Start with your body, start with your mind, the entire darshans, very logical. That's why I love it. It's not a blind belief system. It's very scientific, very logical.
I've been thinking about the rituals and the logic behind it. I'm just trying to connect some logic to everything now so that it becomes easy for me to understand.
All the 6 darshanas, we are bringing it together to our teachings, logic, yoga, everything.
I'm starting to believe in rituals to some extent now.
As long as people are doing rituals, what they're not doing is very profound. When they're doing rituals, what they're not doing is they're not gossiping, they're not complaining. While they're doing rituals, there's no complaint, there's no gossip. They're focused, 1 point focus. So the whole purpose of ritual was man ki shuddhi.
Yeah.
So we should encourage that, because simpler minds cannot read Vedant. They don't have patience, they don't have time, but at least if they have something to 1 point focus, it may work for them. So encourage them. Okay, good. Get flowers for your mom when she's doing a ritual rather than criticizing her.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing like that. We don't have this philosophy that mera hi rasta theek hai. Only my methodology is right. It's not the way our rishis have taught. तो एक बहुत famous statement है, एकम सत विप्रा बहुधा वदंती. Sat is only one. Different Gyanis have spoken it in a different way. Everybody has understood their own way, because this truth is so profound. If something is subtler than space, imagine how profound it is, because I have understood it like a space only. Like space doesn't get affected no matter it's a foul smell, if it's a firecrackers bursting, if it's a big building or big building gets demolished, is the space affected? No. The air quality may get affected, but air is an element, right? But the space itself, nothing happens. So Atma is nirvikar. So our true nature doesn't get affected with anything. So try at least imagining yourself like a space, like you're all pervading. That's the best you can do for yourself. We'll finish with 3 Om. Bring your hands to the heart center. Namaskar Mudra. Take a deep breath. Om. Om. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.